like I said, I had a really horrible relationship right before I moved to Spain, like put my stuff in storage, moved to Spain and started like living for myself and like soul searching. The fact that I even was in a relationship like that, it just says a lot about who I thought I was and whose
Mhm.
I thought I was.
Mm.
And I just was seeking validation from the wrong places. I didn't know my worth. I didn't know who I was living for. I was confused. I was lost. And I was with someone who just, was not taking care of my heart and was not going to take care of my heart. Um, and so, I mean, it really was a blessing that that ended. And I went and I did all this soul searching.
Mhm.
And when I came back, I was like, I want to be so like gung ho for God that I don't want to be hurt again. I want to find someone who loves Christ too. I want to find a church. I want to like I was coming on to the idea of living for him, but I
Mhm.
wasn't quite there yet. But I was like he was working,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I get that.
He was working and I was just like I know kind of what you're saying, but I'm not sure what it looks like because I lived my whole life, destructive and having boyfriends like left and right. And I
Got
don't
it.
know like how like TMI this is for your podcast, but like I was intimate with almost every boyfriend I had. I
Mhm.
was just like, um,
Yeah, yeah, I mean, me too.
I
That's
was lost.
yeah.
I didn't know, I didn't know what my body like was for. I didn't, I was just like, oh, this is what you do. Like
Yes.
you get a boyfriend and you have sex and you pretend like you play house and
Yeah.
whatever. Like that's what you do. That's if you don't, it's looked down upon almost in this world. And so, um, but it was very clear that that was not what God had for me. And so I was like, okay, let me try and find someone who's in the faith. I want to find a church. I had no idea what that was. I still was like wanted to be Catholic because my dad was super, super judgmental about it and
Mhm.
strict. Like, this is how I raised you. And, I really respected him. Um, and so I was just scared to leave. I was scared to like go outside of that. So I tried for like a year to find a good Catholic church.
Mhm.
Um, and that's when I met my next boyfriend when after I got home from those travels. I was living in Tampa and I met him on like Bumble or something. And
Okay.
I was just like super living for myself. And like I knew I was gonna find some like have higher standards this time and like all this stuff. Um and it just ended up being not very godly. And I really thought that it was going to be. And like
Mhm.
he was a person who I think, like, I don't want to talk bad about anyone, but like he was one of those Christians who was like not really hasn't really handed over his life to Christ,
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
it does.
So I started going to church with him. And like just a small example, like we would sit outside until worship was over and then go in.
Okay. Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
Yeah. That's one of the best parts. What is he doing?
But I didn't know anything. I was just like, oh yeah, I don't want like that's awkward. Like I don't know the word. So I was just such a baby, like to
Yes.
all so I was just like believing everything he said that he wanted that life basically. And I definitely wanted to wait to be intimate, and it was clear that he did not. And so this relationship played out, and it was like I think we waited like 6 months, and like he did not make it easy for me.
Mhm.
And of course all those signs I didn't pick up on because I just wanted to find love
Yeah.
and I wanted to believe in it. And my childhood and all that stuff, like my family life and all that kind of plays into it too. Cause I just wanted a partner in life. I wanted someone to like be my teammate and like live life for me for Christ and like be that, like
Oh,
I
I
want,
get it. Yes.
you know, and I just wanted that so bad. And so I tried to make it something it wasn't.
Yes.
Um, so I ended up um, moving in with him, and there was a lot of like toxic things going on. Like we really weren't even going to church at this point. He would not serve with me. I felt a lot of this heaviness, like this darkness. Like I wasn't in his purpose. And,
Mm.
I would pray about that. And he had one of my friends connect with me that I hadn't talked to in like 10 years. And she was straight up, Michaela, she was like, you need to move out of his house. And I was like, huh?
Oh, chills.
I was like, me too. Oh my gosh. I was like, what? And she was like, girl, you need to move out of his house. You need to stop having sex with him.
Yeah.
And you need to, she's like, if you want to be with him and if he's the one, then you need to get your own place or work it out and
Yeah.
work it
That's
out
a real
separately.
friend. That's a good friend.
Oh my gosh. And
Yeah.
I had not talked to her and it was God
Yeah.
working with her. And I was just like, but I just moved in. I talked to her right after I moved in, like his timing, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, I just moved in. There's no way I'm going to move out. And she's like, you have to. And I was like, I knew she was right. I knew she was right. I was like, man, but in my head, I'm like, that's not going to happen, but maybe I can honor God in another way. Like maybe I can, break this down to my boyfriend and we can figure it out. And
I'm so curious to know what happens next.
oh my gosh. So literally that week, my boyfriend completely shut down. He started treating me so bad. He would not talk to me. There was zero communication. He would belittle me. He like like when I tell you it was clear as day. I called my best friend and I was like, I think I'm moving out. And she was like, wait, what? You guys are solid. Wait, what? She was like so confused. And I was like, I need to move out.
Isn't it crazy? Like the minute you take sin out of it, like you stopped, because I'm guessing you did stop sleeping with him and then that clarity came.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
I started sleeping with him and he threw a fit and he made me feel horrible. And it just was so of the flesh. Everything about it was just so of the flesh. And, he was lost too. And so two lost people can't find him together. Like we needed to we couldn't live together and be having sex and find him.